Hi, Colin the Aspie here. This is a bit of a prologue to this episode, okay? I wanted to put this on here because this was actually a very difficult episode, very difficult subject for me to talk about because in thinking about the different stories and things that I do to prevent myself from stressing out, I was actually dredging up a lot of really bad, awkward memories. So yeah, there's that. So if I seem kind of rushed during the video itself, it's because it's a subject I really didn't care to talk about. And even right now, talking about not talking about is actually trying to stress me out a little bit, if that makes any sense. Also, in the previous video, I showed off a little red car in the first 2 or 3 minutes, which is a transformer of mine. As funny as that, in the video in the rough draft video I made, I actually showed off the robot mode, but I forgot to in that one because I just started talking. So, this is Gold Blood. He's that red car from before, transformed. So yeah, evil looking Autobot, and I think it's really cool. So here's the actual episode proper itself. Hope you guys enjoy it, find it entertaining. Actually, probably not very entertaining, but hopefully very educational. So thank you very much. Alright, episode 2.3 of Colin the Aspie. I am Colin the Aspie. All stories and opinions in these videos are mine and not meant to reflect upon others in any way. Before I get into the episode proper, I want to say I'm sorry this one's so late. Life kind of got in the way, had to get some work on the car, and I had to do some overtime, and most of all, it's actually a very difficult subject I'm talking about right now because I'm dredging up a lot of bad memories. So, this is going to be about how I deal with either preventing or stopping rage sessions. So, I want to do a quick recap. Rage sessions can be caused by multiple things: stressful environment, stressful situations, injury. How people should react to somebody having a rage session is, don't correct the behavior, don't punish it, don't get aggressive, you stay calm. Aspie will stay calm. Watch the other 2 videos for a bit more in depth. Part of why this video being so late is because one of my Facebook friends, her husband, and if I am offending you, dear, I apologize. Her husband had Asperger's syndrome, and I was gonna say, hey, don't screw up your relationships, because those are really important, and I'll get into more detail on that in a second. But it turned out that no, his issues weren't because of Asperger's syndrome, they were because of drug use. And that is one thing I cannot stress enough. Do not get involved with drugs. It wasn't marijuana, it wasn't drinking, okay? It was hard stuff. I'm not going to say the exact drug, but there are stuff way harder than marijuana. But that brings me to my main point. Don't screw up relationships. I can speak from first-hand experience. I was stressing out. I couldn't express myself properly. And also, I have had friends say, the relationship that I had with my fiance, yeah, I was partially to blame, but she was more to blame than me because she pretty much refused to listen because I wasn't expressing myself properly. If a loved one says, hey, you need to calm down, take their word for it. Find a way to express yourself better. Find a way to get them to understand better. This is 2 people dealing with people with Asperger's syndrome. If we say something, if we say, hey, we hurt, hey, help us, effing help us! Okay? For me, it's hard for me to ask for help. I don't want to ask for help. So, and I finally got my father to finally understand, if I'm asking for help, gee, maybe I need some help. Learning to control your emotions can be very difficult, but having some type of emotional support, a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, can be very, very important. can help out a lot, can be your ace in the hole. But that person needs to understand, yes, I have issues, please help me. If you love me, help me. If you don't love me, and this sounds kind of like an ultimatum, and it's not meant to be like that, but, you know, if you can't help me, then let me know so I can find help elsewhere. But if they love you, they should be more than willing to help you. But if you keep being a jerk and being a jerk and being a jerk, it's going to get to the point where they can't handle it anymore. And in my case, yeah, she couldn't handle me anymore, but she never tried to. You know, she'd say towards the end, I can't handle you anymore, and my response was, you shouldn't have had to handle me. I don't think she ever understood what I meant by that. What I meant by that is, I was asking for help. If you would have helped me, there wouldn't have been a problem. Moving on, sometimes these outbursts, sometimes the biggest thing to do when dealing with stress is to walk away from whatever is causing you stress. And this happened to me recently. I was listening to the radio. I like KFI, great channel. Well, one of their talk show hosts was talking about all the recent sex child abuse stories. And those stories really hit me close to home because I myself have dealt with that stuff. I will go into detail on that on another story maybe. And it was really starting to piss me off, and I didn't realize. And I was getting frustrated with my phone because my phone was acting up. How do people deal with that? You load up a page and the little icons are so bloody tiny that you gotta tap it and your fat fingers tapping everything else. I digress. I finally realized, you know what, it wasn't the phone that was pissing me off. It was listening to these horrible stories about the way adults have treated children. So I put the phone down, I walked away from the radio. I just went walking outside for a little bit. Calmed down, I came back in, turned the radio off, I went back to playing on my phone. Okay. Prevention in general. This is going to be mainly to children, but this can help with adults. This is to kids, but this helps for adults also. Your parents normally, usually, do know what's best for you. They do care about you. They do want to see you succeed. So you know what? Trust them. But it can't be all on you. It's got to be on the parents also to point. Okay, if we say we hurt, help us. Explain how you feel. You know, if your parents ask you, hey, how do you feel? And if you feel like crap, tell them, Mom, Dad, I feel like crap because of these reasons. I need some help. Talk about how you feel. You know, but still, parents, listen to your kids. I can't tell you how many times I went through school being teased and harassed to death, literally to the point where I wanted to kill myself. It's kind of sad being in middle school and being harassed to the point that you want to just go ahead and take your own life. And nobody is willing to understand you. Because back then, people didn't really understand what was going on with me. Now my dad understands better. He admits he wished he had understood better back then. There was one time we were on a parent-teacher conference, and they were arguing, oh, your son refuses to learn. Well, yeah, Dad, it's not that I refuse to learn, it's that the other kids in school won't leave me alone. Oh, no, that's not the issue. Your son just refuses to learn. Dad, the teachers are wrong. I said that point blank, and he didn't believe me. Then when I got into high school, I got pulled out of regular school and put in independent study, and oh my God, I went from D's and F's to A's and B's. I graduated 3 months early with a 3.8. You know, that's not perfect, but that's like, what, a B minus average. You know, okay, that's pretty damn good, you know. You should have listened to me. I already talked about walking away from trouble. Well, that can be difficult, but you know what? Find a way. If topics are stressing you out from your parents, they'll tell them, I can't talk about this right now. Can we please take a break, you know? If something is upsetting you, walk away from it. And if you can't, ask for a break, you know? Slow down. You know, hey, little Johnny, quit telling gross stories at the dinner table. Why don't I tell gross dinner stories? Well, you know what? You can't do it. You know, you get all upset and pissed off. Take a step back. Mom, Dad, can we please stop talking about this right now. Hey, you gotta study more at school. Well, I can't be left alone. You gotta study more at school. I can't be left alone. Can we take a break? I know I'm not coming up with a very good example right there. I apologize. Identify what is upsetting you with you and deal with it directly. The news stories were upsetting me. I walked away. Say you're being bullied at school and that's upsetting you and it's causing you to misbehave at home. You got to get that figured out. You got to figure out, hey, the other kids won't leave you alone. It has to be dealt with. Avoid confrontations. Yeah, avoid stressful situations. Yeah. Listen to the parents actually, okay? Diet and good exercise can actually help a lot. If you're eating too many sugars, too many preservatives, I know. I'm saying this as I have a bowl of sugary cereal sitting here right in front of me, and I'm getting out of the camera right now, aren't I? Find safe or what's the word I'm looking for? Productive ways to release aggression. Personally, I like first-person shooters. I'd rather get home, sit down, shoot the crap out of some aliens, zombies, etc., whatever. I like Resident Evil on the Wii. Than go out and hurt somebody in real life. But again, that might be something more for older kids, kids that can realize the difference between reality and fiction. Relaxation techniques. Meditation, listening to relaxing music, stuff like that can help. As much as possible, remove stress from your life. And that will help you deal with the natural stress of life. I hope that makes sense. One thing that I really do enjoy doing is I take, essentially, you'd call them pacifiers to work. I love my Transformers. In fact, I recently got this guy. I'll be doing a review of him on my other channel. Go check it out. But when I take them to work with me, now if you're going to school, that may not be as possible, so you might need to find like a little pocket trinket, a little dolly you leave in your pocket, a little piece of jewelry you leave in your pocket. But again, that can deal with bullies harassing you. And you know what? Bullies harassing you, it's not your fault they're harassing you. It needs to be stopped. It needs to be mentioned to teachers. They need to leave you alone. And don't give me this BS line about, oh, kids can be kids. Bullying builds character. No. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me is BS. Because you know what? Words hurt worse than sticks and stones. The scars that words leave are just invisible. Same thing can be said to somebody with Asperger's syndrome. Don't say things you're going to regret. Which can be very difficult because you know what? Everybody does it. Even people without Asperger's syndrome will say things they regret. Again, dealing with bullies. I kind of mentioned that a second ago, didn't I? That can be tough, but you know what? Telling somebody, getting it figured out. One way that I dealt with bullies is I finally got fed up because the teachers weren't doing anything about it. I started hauling off and beating the crap out of them. That's part of why I got pulled out of school and put in independent study. But my reaction was, well, hell, you won't do anything about it, so I took care of it. So, yeah. Just remove stress as much as possible. So all that right there is to kids, some of that helps with adults. Actually, a lot of that helps with adults, just to remove as much stress as possible. Unfortunately, a lot of these little lessons and ideas really do have to be learned on your own. And everyone has to find their own way of doing it. Let's see here. Something that adults tend to do, okay? I have heard of several people with Asperger's syndrome. I actually knew somebody, not for very long, but, kind of in passing conversation. This guy I knew for a little bit. He would go home and drink 3 bottles of not beer, but like Zima or something like that. It was kind of like beer, but very. There it goes, Four Locos. And if you don't know, those things are like 12% alcohol per volume. One can will just lay you out. This guy would go home, down 2 of those, and go to bed. And he said it helped him a lot. He'd get up the next morning, he was functional, the whole thing. And you know what? Good on you. I have a good friend who he uses medicinal marijuana about once a week. And he uses it more than that, actually. I think he uses it almost every night. But he has told me that if he used it once a week, that'd be enough for him. It helps to relax the body, helps to relax the mind. Prescription medications can help. It's finding the right one, though. That's always the most difficult part. Don't rely on the vices, because that's really what they are. They are potential addictions. And people who are autistic and people with Asperger's syndrome, I can speak from personal experience, can have a hard time with addictions. For a while there, I was really into a card game called Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay? I couldn't go into a Walmart without buying a pack of cards. If I didn't buy a pack of cards, I was stressed out. And it's kind of unfortunately the same way with Transformers. It's just only recently, in like the last 6 months or so, that I've been able to realize just because you go to a Walmart doesn't mean you have to get a Transformer. And yeah, it does kind of stress me out a little bit. It does kind of give me a little bit of a panic attack, but you know what? The main thing is I go in there and there's nothing there that I want. Why am I going to buy a figure I don't want if, I don't want it? I'll wait for one to come up that I do want. And my brain just wandered off a little bit. Okay, addictions. If you are going to use alcohol, medications, medical marijuana, side note, don't use hard drugs. Don't use meth. Don't use crack. Don't use cocaine. Any of those things, because you know what? Those things not only do you gotta deal with the own potential addiction, but then those things on their own get addictive. Those things will ruin your life. They can very easily ruin your life. I'm sorry you're a little stressed out about this because my own brother was a very big meth head for a while there, and when I was living with him, he got back into it a little bit, and it was speed that he got back into. And I ended up paying for his speed addiction because he'd spend all his money on speed, and then I'd have to pay his bills around the house, which means I was indirectly paying for his drug habit. And indirectly, he's responsible for me losing a very happy relationship. So yeah. Avoid confrontation, remove stress from your life. Prescription drugs can help. Drinking can help. Medical marijuana can help. But control them. Like Dr. House would say, control the addiction, don't let the addiction control you. I do believe that is it. I'm still trying to figure out some type of logo or artwork to use for this channel. If anybody has any ideas, you let me know. Please go check out my other YouTube channel, Takare3332. I'll put a link down below, and I'll put a link for his review when I get it done down below. Also, I want to explain something. In my last couple of videos, I kept saying we and us as if I speak for the entire Asperger's syndrome community, and no, that's part of the disclaimer. I do not speak for all of us. Part of me saying that was because I mentioned on the Facebook page that I frequent, hey, yeah, I behave like this, and I do that, and I do that. And I get other people saying, oh, yeah, I do that also, and oh, my son does that, my son does this, and that kind of, unfortunately, flavored my language a little bit. So if there's any confusion from that, I do apologize. So yeah, any ideas for subjects, put them below, let me know. This has been Cole and the Aspie. I have no idea what I'm going to name this one. But yeah, basically about how to prevent your own rage sessions. I hope this video was entertaining. Probably not though. I hope it was educational. and I look forward to talking to you all next time.